Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today's lesson is mu'tal, which are weak verbs, which come with either the letter waw or ya in it. So first we have mu'tal al-fa al-mithal, where the weak letter comes in the first root letter. So the examples given are wajada, waqafa, wahaba, ya'isa, yabisa, yatama. Then we have mu'tal al-ain al-ajwaf, where the weak letter comes in the second root letter. So the original word here is qawala, which is changed to qala, navima to nama, kavana to kana, sayara to sara, baya'a to ba'a, kayala to kala. Then we have mu'talul lam and naqis, where the weak letter comes in the third root letter. So the original word here is da'awa, which is changed to da'a, afawa to afa, talawa to tala, bakaya to baka, hadaya to hada, and nasiya. So it is important to note that these letters here marked in the red box undergo various changes according to the tenses that they take. But these letters here, where ya is the first root letter, these words do not undergo any change. So let's understand mu'tal a little further. So here we take the word yakulna, which means they all say female. Here we have na, which indicates that the fa'il here is attached to the verb and it is mutaharrik. So yakulna is actually the original word is yakulu plus na, which is then changed to yakulna. So you can see there are two sukuns here, which is also known as ittiqa'us sakinaini. So it is not possible for us to pronounce this. Therefore, the weak letter waw is dropped and we get yakulna. The same thing applies to the word taqulna. So let's go through some examples where there are changes in waw in mithalul mu'talul fa, where the weak letter waw comes in the first root letter. So the example we have taken here is waqafa yakifu, which comes in bab daraba. So in madi, fi'l al-madi, which is past tense, the conjugation goes as follows: waqafa, he stood; waqafa, they both stood; waqafu, they all stood; waqafat, she stood; waqafa, they both stood, female; waqafna, they all stood, female; waqafta, you stood, male; waqaftuma, you both stood, male; waqaftum, you all stood, male; waqafti, you stood, female; waqaftuma, you both stood, female; waqaftunna, you all stood, female; waqaftu, I stood; waqafna, we stood. Then we have fi'l al-mudari, which is the present tense verb. So it becomes yaqifu. So the original word is yawkifu, where the waw is dropped and it is changed to yaqifu. So the conjugation goes as yaqifu, he is standing; yaqifani, they both are standing; yaqifuna, they all are standing; taqifu, she is standing; taqifani, they both are standing, female; yaqifna, they all are standing, female; taqifu, you are standing, male; taqifani, you are standing, you both are standing, male; taqifuna, you all are standing, male; taqifina, you are standing, female; taqifani, you both are standing, female; taqifna, you all are standing, female; aqifu, I am standing; naqifu, we are standing. And in the mansub form, the conjugation goes as yaqifa, yaqifa, yaqifu, taqifa, taqifa, yaqifna, taqifa, taqifa, taqifu, taqifi, taqifa, taqifna, aqifa, naqifa. It is good to note that the noon here is dropped, except for the ones that are in mabni, which is yaqifna and taqifna. Then in the majzum form, which is a jussive case, which occurs when the verb is preceded by a negation like la or lam, and it usually turns the final vowel into a sukoon. So the conjugation for the majzum form goes as yaqif, yaqifa, yaqifu, taqif, taqifa, yaqifna, taqif, taqifa, taqif, taqifu, taqifi, taqifa, taqifna, aqif, naqif. Then we have fi'alul amr, which is the command verb. So here the word becomes qif. So when we change a fi'al al-mudari to fi'al al-amr, so taqifu, we have to cut the first letter and give the last letter a sukoon. So it becomes qif. Qif, qifa, qifu, qifi, qifa, qifna. So these changes are for mithlul waw only, whereas its counterpart, mithlul ya, does not undergo any sort of change. Then let's go and see into some changes in mu'talul ayn al-ajwaf. So the example we are seeing here is qala yaqulu, which is in bab nasara. Qala yaqulu means to say. So in fi'al al-madi, past tense, the conjugation goes as qala, he said. So qala is originally, as we see here, qawala, which is changed to qala. Then we have qala, they both said, qalu, they all said, qalat, she said, qalata, they both said, qulna. Qulna again goes through some changes. Qul, qalna, qal and plus na becomes qalna, which then changes to qalna, which then changes to qulna. So it is important to note that for verbs in bab nasara, the fa kalima is changed to get a dhamma. But for verbs which are not in bab nasara, the fa kalima is changed to get a kasara instead. So then we have qulta, which is you said, male. Kultuma, you both said, male. Kultum, you all said, male. Kulti, you said, female. Kultuma, you both said, female. Kultunna, you all said, female. Kultu, I said. Kulna, we said. Then when we come to fi'al al-mudari, present tense, in the marfu form, we get yaqulu. So here again, the original word is yaqula, which is changed to yaqulu. Yaqulu, he is standing. Yaqulani, they both are standing. Yaquluna, they all are standing. Taqulu, she is standing. Taqulani, they both are standing. Female. Yaqulna, they all are standing. Female. And yaqulna again, as we had discussed earlier, goes through these changes. Yaqulu plus na becomes yaqulna. Two sakins we cannot pronounce, so it becomes yaqulna. Then we have taqulu, you say, male. Taqulani, you both say, male. Taquluna, you all say, male. Taqulina, you say, female. Taqulani, you both say, female. Taqulda, which is again the same as yaqulna, same changes. You all say, female. Aqulu, I say. Naqulu, we say. And then in the mansoob form, it goes as yaqula, yaqula, yaqulu, taqula, taqula, yaqulna, taqula, taqula, taqulu, taquli, taqula, taqulna, aqula, naqula. And in the majzoom form, it goes as yaqul. So here again we can see the changes from yaqul, that is with waw and lam both having a sukoon, which does not become possible to pronounce changes to yakul. The waw is dropped. Then we have yakula, yakulu, taqul, taqula, yakulna, taqul, taqula, taqulu, taquli, taqula, taqulna, aqul, naqul. And then in fi'l al-amr, the command verb is changed to kul. So taqulu, where the first letter is dropped and the last letter gets a sukun. It becomes cool, again with waw and lam both having a sukun, which then is changed to kul. And it is also good to note that hamzatul wasl is not needed here because the fa kalima or the first letter, root letter, does not have sakin. So it can be pronounced. Therefore, a hamzatul wasl is not needed. So we have kul, kula, kulu, kuli, kula, kulna. Then let's go to the next example where there are changes in al-ajwaf, muta'alul ayn. So we have the verb ba'a, yabi'u in bab daraba, which means to sell. So in fi'l al-madi, the past tense, we have ba'a. So you can see the original letter is baya'a, which is changed to ba'a. So we have ba'a, he sold. Ba'a, they both sold. Ba'u, they all sold. Ba'at, she sold. Ba'ata, they both sold, female. Bi'na, they all sold, female. So here again we see some changes. It is originally ba'a plus na, which becomes ba'na, which is difficult to pronounce with the alif and the ain both having sakin, which then becomes to ba'na, which then becomes bi'na. So it is good to note that for verbs in the bab nasara, the fa kalima or the first root letter is changed to get a dhamma, but in bab nasara, which in this case, which are not in bab nasara, the fa kalima or the first root letter gets a kasara. So as we can see, this gets a kasara as this is in bab daraba and not bab nasara. So this is bi'na. Then we have bi'ta, you sold, sorry, male. You bi'tuma, you both sold, male. Bi'tum, you all sold, male. Bi'ti, you sold, female. Bi'tuma, you both sold, female. Bi'tunna, you all sold, female. Bi'tu, I sold. Bi'na, we sold. Then we have fi'al al-mudari, present tense. In the marfu form, we have yabi'u. So here we can see the changes here. It's originally yabyi'u, which is then changed to yabi'u. Yabi'u, he sells. Yabi'ani, they both sell. Yabi'una, they all sell. Tabi'u, she sells. Tabi'ani, they both sell, female. Yabi'na also goes through changes. It is yabi'u plus na, which becomes yabi'na, which has two sukuns, difficult to pronounce, so it becomes yabi'na. So we have yabi'na, they all sold, female. Tabi'u, you so they all sell, female. Tabi'u, you sell, male. Tabi'ani, you both sell, male. Tabi'una, you all sell, male. Tabi'ina, you sell, female. Tabi'ani, you both sell, female. Tabi'na, you all sell, female. Abi'u, I sell, nabi'u, we sell. Then we have in the mansub form, it goes as yabi'a, yabi'a, yabi'u, tabi'a, tabi'a, yabi'na, tabi'a, tabi'a, tabi'u, tabi'i, tabi'a, tabi'na, abi'a, nabi'a. Then in the majzum form, which is the jasif case, where the last letter gets a sukun and is preceded by either a lam or a ma. it goes as yabi. So this again goes through some changes where yabi becomes yabi. The ya here is dropped. Then it goes as yabi'a, yabi'u, tabi, tabi'a, yabi'na, tabi, tabi'a, tabi'u, tabi'i, tabi'a, tabi'na, abi, nabi. Then we have fi'l al-amr, the command verbs where tabi'u is changed to bi, where the first letter ta and the last letter ain gets a sukoon. First letter ta is dropped and the last letter ain gets a sukoon, which becomes bi. Again, two sukoons, difficult to pronounce, so we get bi, and there is no hamzatul wasl again due to the fa kalima not being a sakin. So we have bi, bi'a, bi'u, bi'i, bi'a, bi'na. Then let's go through some changes in al-ajwaf, muta'al al-ain. So the example we have is nama, yanamu, in bab sami'a, which means to sleep. So in fi'al al-madi, past tense, we have nama, which is originally navima, which is changed to nama. He slept. Nama, they both slept. Namu, they all slept. Namat, she slept. Namata, they both slept. Nimna, they all slept, female. So Nimna again goes through some changes. We have nama plus na, which then becomes na'mna. There are two sukoons, which is difficult to pronounce, so we get namna, which then becomes nimna. And it is good to note that since this is bab sami'a, again, the first root letter gets a kasra. Then we have nimta, you slept, male. Nimtuma, you both slept, male. Nimtum, you all slept, male. Nimti, you slept, female. Nimtuma, you both slept, female. Nimtunna, you all slept, female. Nimtu, I slept. Nimna, we slept. Then when we come to fi'al al-mudari, in the marfu form, we have yanamu. Again, there are changes here. Yanwamu is changed to yanamu. So yanamu is he is sleeping. Yanamani, they both are sleeping. Yanamuna, they all are sleeping. Tanamu, she is sleeping. Tanamani, they both are sleeping, female. Yanamna, they all are sleeping, female. This again goes through some changes. So yanamu plus na becomes yanamna. Two sukoons, difficult to pronounce, becomes yanamna. Then we have tanamu, you are sleeping, male. Tanamani, you both are sleeping, male. Tanamuna, you all are sleeping, male. Tanamina, you are sleeping, female. Tanamani, you both are sleeping, female. Tanamna, you all are sleeping, female. Anamu, I am sleeping. Nanamu, we are sleeping. Then in the mansoob form, it goes as yanama, yanama, yanamu, tanama, tanama, yanamna. Tanama, tanama, tanamu, tanami, tanama, tanamna, anama, nanama. Then in the majzoom form, we have yanam. So here again we have some changes where alif and mim both have sukoon, so the alif is dropped and we get yanam. Yanam, yanama, yanamu, tanam, tanama, yanamna, tanam, tanama, tanamu, tanami, tanama, tanamna, anam, nanam. And then in fi'al al-amr, the command verb, again, tanamu is changed to nam, where the first letter ta is dropped and the last letter mim gets a sukoon. And again, we do not have a hamzatul wasl here because The fa kalima or the first root letter has a vowel and does not need a hamzatul wasl. So we go as nam, nama, namu, nami, nama, and namna.